Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going over a brand new episode, the first episode of Dexter New Blood. So Dexter originally wrapped in 2013 and they're picking up 8 years down the road. So this is a limited series apparently, so they're only doing, this season of episodes, but who knows how it'll turn out and whether they will revive it at the end of this season for another run. So I'm going to get right into the episode today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be going over all the episodes of Dexter this season, and I cover a bunch of other shows: The L Word, Succession, Grey's Anatomy, Tampa Bay, Station 19, and The Morning Show, tons of other stuff. So if you enjoy the video at any point, please give it a big thumbs up as it really helps out the channel. And make sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section about the season premiere and what you're looking forward to over the rest of the season. So just to really quickly say, I am going to share a couple of clips in here. They have to be very short because Showtime is one of those networks that is very precious with their content. So like the L Word, it has to be kept to a minimum, but I will share as many as possible. So we're going to quickly run through the first half of the episode, as the second half is where everything very much ramps up and kicks off. So we start the episode with Dexter's new kind of typical routine, and he also is hunting this white buck, which will become significant later. And we see Dexter just going about his new morning routine, and we do see his new dark passenger is now taking the form of Deb.
It's real cold today.
You're the one that picked this place.
So Dexter throughout the episode is having Deb repeat this mantra of just stick to your routine. And we do see him trying to do that in the first half of the episode. So Dexter is now working under and living under the assumed name of Jim Lindsay, and he's working in this sporting goods store in this very small town of Iron Lakes in New York State. So Dexter is also dating the chief of police, and he seems to have a quiet life living in this very secluded cabin. So Dexter, over the course of the episode, we see him doing his kind of traditional things from the first show of camouflaging and trying to, hide in plain sight.
Morning, Zach.
Morning, Mr. Lindsay.
Becca, Scott.
Morning. Coming to the match next week?
I'm sure gonna try. Go Hawks.
He's saying hi to everyone in the street and doing all the little cheering on the sports team, and he's bringing donuts to his boss and having all little, mundane conversations with his coworker. So one of Dexter's customers that day in the store is this character of Matt Caldwell, who is a grade A douchebag, and he is the son of the unofficial mayor of the town, who is also, it seems, a rich douchebag. So the son is just a nightmare, and he's trying to buy this very high caliber $9,000 gun from Dexter, but his background check got put on hold. So Dexter tells him, listen, you have to wait 24 hours, come back. And over the course of the 24 hours, he kind of encounters Dexter a few more times, and he's very much goading him and saying, oh, just sell me the gun. You're a rule follower, you're an Eagle Scout, just bend the rules basically, because he's rich, which I'm sure he's used to.
I was thinking, why don't we get out of here? You could open up your shop, give me that rifle. My guys and I, we want to go hunting in the morning.
If your background check clears, you can come and pick it up at the store in the morning.
The one thing I really loved about the first half of this episode is that they had none of the traditional Dexter narration and none of the traditional music from the show. And in contrast to the second half of the episode, it was just so well the way they did it. And I will talk about the introduction of the narration when we get there. But the first half, there was so many moments where you just felt like empty because it wasn't there. And there were so many times that I was like, oh, this was where the narration would normally come in. So Dexter's been out with his girlfriend, had his normal day, and the next day, even though he doesn't want to, his boss kind of forces him to bring the item to the douchebag. And while he's there, Matt's friend tells him this kind of drug-addled story of how Matt had killed someone in this boating accident, and how the guy had like yielded and Matt had still went through with it. And Matt basically got away with it and got all these people to lie and stuff because of his dad's money. I mean, we all know this happens in the real world. I have definitely seen it with some mega rich people that I know, that they, you know, if there's a car accident and it's someone without money and with money, then we know who's going to win. You can literally buy yourself out of pretty much anything if you have enough money.
Cash or check?
A check? What is this, 1985? Relax, I already Venmo'd Fred.
So we see that seed planted with Dexter, and while he's giving Matt the item and signing the license and everything, Matt's really intoxicated, and Dexter has this kind of like fantasy of smashing the butt of it into his face, but as we know, like, it's all just happening in Dexter's head, and he leaves. So later when he goes home, he sees someone in his house and he sneaks around and comes in while the person has their back turned, and the person turns around and asks him, "Are you Dexter Morgan?" and says, "I'm Harrison, it's me." And as we see Dexter, like the flash of recognition and him taking the step towards Harrison, the dark passenger of Deb appears and tells him to stop because everyone who gets close to you dies. And Deb starts listing like Dokes, LaGuardia, and herself. And then Dexter immediately changes and he's like, "No, like, that's not me. I don't know who you are. I just have one of those faces." And you see like Harrison obviously devastated, and Dexter's like obviously trying to mask it because he does care for his son. And we see Dexter like trying to give him some money and say, "This is when the next bus is, and there's a shelter here, and you know, you seem like a good kid, but I'm not who you think I am." So the next morning, Dexter's out and he encounters the white buck again, and he goes right up to the buck and he's like inches away from it, reaching out his hand. And all of a sudden, bang, we see Matt, the douchebag, shoot the white buck, and Dexter like obviously jumps away like fuck. And the guy starts walking up and he's just like, "Yeah, I got like a white buck." And you see like Dexter just, you know what's coming. The way they've set the shot up is brilliant. Like, as I said, it's a white buck and they're in all this snow, and you start to see like the red blood, and you just know what's gonna happen.
Check this out. You see what I did there, Jim?
Dexter just slams the butt of the GUN into Matt's face, and he goes down, and then Dexter comes up to him and he grabs his knife out of the side of Matt's holster, and you know that the dark passenger is just like creeping in. So Dexter, all of a sudden, he's made his decision, you know where this is going, and he flashes and you see him ripping down like the plastic sheets from outside, and it seems there's like a hen house. And we all know where this is going. Dexter is setting up his kill room. And I mean, of course, it's not as perfect as we remember because he's kind of working with what he has. And he does everything in the very traditional way he used to. Like, Matt is tied to the table with plastic, and Dexter wakes him up and he has this conversation with him, telling him how he used to be a serial killer.
You're a serial killer?
I was. But you know what? You're right. Who are we fucking kidding? It's not so much that I was. It's that I am.
And Matt starts to tell Dexter basically about how because he had a shitty childhood, like that's why he's a douchebag.
Oh, okay, my mom died when I was 8. My dad, he was never around. He was always working. I had a shitty childhood, okay?
And there's so many people that think having a shitty childhood is an excuse for behaving like just an asshole, because yes, okay, someone had a shitty childhood. That maybe explains why you have done the things you do or why you have like bad coping mechanisms. But when you're an adult, guess what? You can go to therapy and you can work through things and you can overcome a shitty childhood, which is what most people do, but obviously not in this case. And we even see Dexter like making a little makeshift blood slide out of some glass. Matt confesses about the boat, and Dexter has this, traditional like conversation that he used to have with a lot of his victims in the original show.
This is about the boat, right? Yeah, the part where you were driving, the part where the other guy yielded, the part where you rammed him anyway, the part where 5 people died because of you.
All right.
And then we have Matt shouting to Dexter like his dad is going to take him down and his dad is going to bring a world of pain on him. So I guess I'm guessing we're probably going to have some foreshadowing here. And Dexter raises the knife, and of course we know where this is going. He kills Matt, and then
Tonight's the night. Hello, Dexter Morgan.
the dark passenger, the narration, everything is back, the music. And I just thought the way they did this was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. And the second that you heard Tonight's the Night, like, Dexter is really, really back now. So his girlfriend calls him. He was supposed to be at some like Christmas market, and he answers the phone like he used to with Rita and says like, "Hey, you." And he makes this little like metaphor of, oh, the wolf got in the hen house and it's a mess over here. So we see Dexter like, figuring out where he's going to be able to dump the body, because as he says, it's not Miami. So after Dexter's dealt with all of that, we see him then go to the bus station, go to Harrison and tell Harrison, yes, I am Dexter Morgan. I am your dad.
I'm Dexter Morgan. Your father. Come home.
And will you come home with me? And then we hear Dexter's narration saying he's going to protect his son like Harry protected him. And that is the end of the episode. So I'm sure you can tell I absolutely loved this episode. I thought it was great, a great start to the season, because we kind of learned what's been going on for the past 8 years. We got an introduction to all the new characters, and then obviously like Deb and Harrison we knew, but like Deb is obviously dead, and the dark passenger, and then Harrison is, a lot older now. So it was really interesting to kind of see how different everything is. And yet by the end, we're really back to good old Dexter. And my favorite part absolutely was the absence and then the introduction of the narration and the way it was done. And just even the way they shot this, like with the snow and everything, it was beautiful. I thought the casting, the acting, everything was absolutely top notch. Michael C. Hall is absolutely brilliant, and so was the rest of the cast. Everything about the first episode, perfect. I cannot wait to see what happens the rest of the season. So let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section. And if you're excited to see more Dexter and more discussions, make sure to subscribe to the channel and to leave a big thumbs up on the video if you're excited for the next episode. I will be posting the trailer and maybe a little trailer breakdown, so make sure to check those out when they're up. Make sure to check me out on social media. I have a merch store and a Patreon as well. And as always, make sure to stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.